Live from New Delhi, you're watching the India Newshour, India's Voice to the World. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi embarks on a two-day visit to Israel. Visit to focus on strengthening friendship between two nations. Will become first Indian leader to address its parliament, the Knesset. India-Israel reaffirms zero tolerance against terrorism at 10th Joint Working Group meeting on counter-terrorism. Also, the two nations launch first round of FTA negotiations. Donald Trump delivers longest ever State of the Union address, boast of a turnaround for the ages in speech, says inflation is down and employment up as he slammed the Supreme Court's on tariffs in front of several justices. Trump claims Iran developing missiles that could hit the US, favors diplomatic solution to the tense confrontation, reiterates total opposition to Tehran possessing nuclear weapons. And in sports, England beat Pakistan by 2 wickets in T20 World Cup, book the semi-final spot. Well, in a short while ago, Prime Minister Narendra Modi embarked on a two-day visit to Israel. The visit is expected to be a historic one. Relations between the two countries have grown from strength to strength in recent years. The two share a strategic partnership. Their priorities converge in diverse domains from defense and security to innovation and workforce mobilization. During his visit, Prime Minister Modi will address Israel's parliament and hold talks with his Israeli counterpart Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem. DD India's Shubhendu Ghosh puts the significance of the visit in its proper context for you.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is visiting Israel from February 25th to 26th. This will be Prime Minister's second official visit to the West Asian country. In Jerusalem, PM Modi will be the first Indian Prime Minister to address the Israeli parliament called Knesset.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is visiting Israel on February 25th and 26th. It's a 2-day visit. This is a very historic visit. First time he came to Israel was in 2017, and that time he laid down the foundation of our relationship. And now we have reached a stage where we need to take it forward and start a new phase of our strategic relationship. During his visit, he will be having detailed discussions on bilateral issues and regional and global issues with the Prime Minister, Mr. Netanyahu. He will also be meeting the President, Mr. Herzog, and he will be addressing the Knesset, which is their parliament.
India and Israel are key defense and security partners. Between 2020 and 24, Israel supplied 13% of India's total arms imports, while India accounted for 34% of Israel's defense exports. An MOU was inked in 2025 to enable sharing of advanced tech and promote co-development and co-production of defense equipments. The two countries are strongly committed to combating terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. On the trade front, India ranks as Israel's second-largest Asian trading partner in merchandise. In financial year 24-25, bilateral trade was $3.75 billion. Israel is a key partner country in the India-led IMAC initiative. India and Israel also cooperate closely in areas of water and agriculture, focusing on water conservation, wastewater treatment. The two countries are fostering strong partnership in innovation and workforce mobilization, which serves as a practical economic pillar in their bilateral relations.
The best thing about India and Israel are that we don't compete with each other, rather we complement each other, and we complement in our core strengths. Israel's core strength is in science and technology, innovation, critical and emerging technologies, be it AI, be it cybersecurity, quantum. And similarly, our core strength is, huge kind of engineers, skilled manpower, and there's an ecosystem in India where we can scale it up in sense. So the idea during this visit will be how we can combine these two ecosystems so that both the countries can benefit out of it.
Earlier, Prime Minister Modi highlighted the deep and enduring friendship between India and Israel, highlighting trust, innovation, and shared commitment to peace and progress that define the bilateral ties. Behind me, you can see the old city of Jerusalem. The civilizational ties between India and Israel date back to over 2 millennia. As Prime Minister Narendra Modi visits Israel, expectations are high that the modern strategic partnership will be taken forward in diverse domains. With camera person Anand Kumar, Shubhendu Ghosh for DD India in Jerusalem.
And Prime Minister Modi in his departure statement highlighted that India and Israel share a robust and multifaceted strategic partnership that has witnessed remarkable growth and dynamism in recent years. Looking forward to discussions with Prime Minister Netanyahu aimed at further strengthening our cooperation across various domains. We will also exchange views on regional and global issues of mutual interest. During the visit, Prime Minister Modi will also meet with Isaac Herzog, President of Israel. I'll also have the honor of becoming the first Indian Prime Minister to address the Israeli parliament called the Knesset, an occasion that would be a tribute to the strong parliamentary and democratic ties that bind our two nations. I also eagerly look forward to interacting with the members of the Indian diaspora who have for long been nurturing the India-Israel special friendship. I'm confident that my state visit will further consolidate the enduring bonds between the two countries, set new goals for the strategic partnership, and advance our shared vision for a resilient, innovative, and prosperous future. And in a striking gesture ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's arrival, Israel's parliament, the Knesset, was lit up in the colors of the Indian flag, a symbolic salute to a partnership that has steadily grown in strength and warmth. Also ahead of Prime Minister Modi's upcoming visit, the leader of the opposition in Israel, Yair Lapid, emphasized that the India-Israel relationship goes beyond a strategy, describing it as a deep bond of friendship between the two nations. He also called Prime Minister Modi a true friend of Israel. Well, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi is en route to Israel, watch some of the highlights of the deep and long-standing strategic friendship between India and Israel. Well, Prime Minister Modi is set to become the first Indian leader to address the Knesset, Israel's parliament. It is a unique honor that celebrates close ties between countries. DD India's Shubhendu Ghosh reports for more from Jerusalem.
During his visit to Israel, one of the first official engagements of Prime Minister Narendra Modi would be to visit the Parliament of Israel. It's called the Knesset, and deliver an address. It is a unique honor. It's the first time an Indian Prime Minister has been invited to address the Knesset. Although it's not a new opportunity for Prime Minister Modi, he's had experience of delivering address at several foreign parliaments in the past. The Knesset is the highest legislative body of the country of Israel, also played a key role in drafting their constitution of the state of Israel. India and Israel are strategic partners. It is expected that during Prime Minister Modi's visit, cooperation and partnership will be taken forward in diverse domains. With camera person Jaishankar, Shubhendu Ghosh for DD India in Jerusalem.
And ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Israel, the 10th meeting of India-Israel Joint Working Group on Counter-terrorism was held on 24th of February in New Delhi. The meeting underscored the importance of bilateral cooperation in countering terrorism, reflecting the spirit and breadth of the India-Israel strategic partnership. Both sides unequivocally and strongly condemned terrorism in all its forms and manifestations, including cross-border terrorism, and reaffirmed the principle of zero tolerance towards terrorism. They strongly condemned the brutal terror attacks in both countries, including heinous October 7, 2023 terror attacks in Israel, the dastardly terrorist attack in Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir, India on April 22, 2025, and other terror acts that have emphasized the urgent need to hold the perpetrators of these heinous acts accountable. Both sides emphasize that confronting terrorism requires concerted action in a sustained and comprehensive manner. Against this backdrop, the two sides renewed their commitment to strengthening multilateral cooperation in the field of countering terrorism. The two sides reiterated their commitment to cooperate in combating terrorism and terrorist organizations, as well as their proxies, supporters, sponsors, financiers, and bankers. Both sides discussed ways to strengthen cooperation against challenges. They also discussed further strengthening law enforcement and judicial cooperation, including through information sharing and cooperation on mutual legal assistance requests. Well, also, the first round of negotiations for the India-Israel Free Trade Agreement commenced on the 23rd of February in New Delhi and is scheduled to take place until 26th of February. The terms of reference were signed in November 2025, establishing a structured framework for discussions on identified areas to enhance trade and economic cooperation. Total merchandise trade between the two countries stood at $3.62 billion in financial year 2024-25. India and Israel share complementarities across several sectors, and the FTA will be a catalyst to further enhance the bilateral trade by providing certainty and predictability to businesses, including MSMEs. During this round, technical experts from both sides will engage in sessions covering various aspects of FTA. This engagement highlights the strategic importance of India-Israel bilateral relationship and reinforces India's commitment to strengthen economic partnerships in line with national priorities and global aspirations. Both sides are working towards concluding a balanced and mutually beneficial agreement. And for more on this, we have Shubhendu Ghosh joining us from Jerusalem. Well, Shubhendu, Prime Minister traveling to Israel today, and with Israel-India relationship blooming, how might this visit further institutionalize the strategic partnership, and what could it mean for India's long-term defense indigenization goals? Also, tell us what all is planned for the day today after PM lands there.
Hello, Lipakshi. Good morning. It's a bit early here in Jerusalem. The time difference is about 3.5 hours.
Right.
India is ahead about 3.5 hours as far as Jerusalem is concerned. Talking about Prime Minister's visit, it's a historic visit, a second official visit to Israel, the first one being in 2017. Expectations are sky high. We know that global geopolitics has transformed
in this period. There's been COVID, there's been the Gaza conflict. And now the focus is on creating a roadmap ahead for the strategic partnership, friendly relations between India and Israel, elevation across domains, whether it is defense and security, whether it is technology and innovation, whether it is agriculture, water security in particular. Also, a lot is expected on trade. Both sides agree that the real potential of India-Israel trade partnership is yet to be realized. There is a potential for negotiations on a free trade agreement that is also on the cards. There is a workforce mobilization, an organized workforce mobilization that is already in place, where skilled and semi-skilled workers from India get opportunities to work and earn a living in Israel. So we see that this connectedness across sectors already exists between India and Israel. And this visit of Prime Minister, the expectations are high that there would be a significant jump in terms of the close ties between India and Israel. Of course, if we talk about engagements of day one, the highlight would be Prime Minister's much anticipated address at the Knesset. That's the Israeli parliament. It's the first time that an Indian Prime Minister is set to address Knesset. India-Israel friendly ties, the roadmap ahead, what are the ways in which Prime Minister articulates the geopolitical challenges in the region. All of those are elements that leaders here are waiting to listen to, Lepakshi.
You're mentioning about the geopolitical challenges. In fact, as Prime Minister Modi prepares to address the Knesset and hold talks with Benjamin Netanyahu, how could this visit reshape India's engagement in West Asia, particularly in the context of evolving geopolitical dynamics in that region?
Lepakshi, we know that the region has been quite volatile for a long time, but more so in the recent time with the Gaza conflict. There is, of course, a step towards peace in that region. However, it is interesting to note that India's approach to the region, which has sort of many adversaries packed in the same region, has been that of diplomatic autonomy. That kind of outreach to each individual nation's partners in the region, striking up friendly relations and not being affected by their interpersonal adversarial stance has been the hallmark of India. And that will also be on display. Prime Minister and India's perspective has been very clear. It is pushed for peace in the region, a peace which comes with reconciliation, peace which comes with all parties coming together and negotiating a future together. So in that sense, that the stance of strategic autonomy that India has maintained is also likely to be the highlight when Prime Minister engages this time with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel.
Right, Shabindu, thank you so much for all that information from Israel. And time now for a short break. We'll be back in a while.
Always welcoming. The vibe of Punjab is larger than life. Warm up to grandeur that's beyond compare. And history that's dotted with tales of bravery. Smiling soul of India, where music, art, cuisine and culture comes together to create an unforgettable impression. Punjab is all set to win your hearts with its unique and colorful extravaganza.
Welcome to DD India, where a billion voices unite, connecting viewers to the stories that matter. India is not just another news channel. It's the international channel that puts the spotlight on the global south, bringing you stories from the heart of emerging economies, dynamic cultures, and transformative voices. As the international news channel of India's public broadcaster Prasar Bharati, DD India delivers high-quality content from every corner of the globe, focusing on the stories that shape our future. We don't just report news. We connect you to India's voice in the global narrative. From current affairs to culture, from economic growth to sustainable development and the ever-evolving world order, DD India gives you a comprehensive view of the world around us. Stay connected, stay informed, and embrace the stories that shape our lives. DD India. India's voice to the world.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on, US President Donald Trump delivered the first State of the Union address of his second term before the Congress, highlighting a strong and growing economy. He emphasized that national confidence has been restored, inflation is falling rapidly, and the economy is performing at record levels.
We will never go back to where we were just a very short time ago. We're not going back. Today, our border is secure, our spirit is restored, inflation is plummeting, incomes are rising fast, the roaring economy is roaring like never before, and our enemies are scared, our military and police are stacked, and America is respected again, perhaps like never before.
Well, Trump also highlighted that the U.S. now has its most secure borders with no illegal entries in 9 months, while emphasizing that legal immigration continues to support the country's growth.
After 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, we now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far. In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States. But we will always allow people to come in legally, people that will love our country and will work hard to maintain our country.
Well, speaking on the Iran-U.S. tensions, U.S. President Donald Trump, in his State of the Union address to a joint session of Congress, said that he prefers to solve the confrontation with Iran diplomatically. He slammed Iran and dubbed it world's #1 sponsor of terrorism, adding that as he wants to resolve the problem, he cannot let them have nuclear weapons.
As president, I will make peace wherever I can, but I will never hesitate to confront threats to America wherever we must. That's why in a breakthrough operation last June, the United States military obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program with an attack on Iranian soil known as Operation Midnight Hammer.
And for more on the Trump's address, we have Amritpal Singh joining us. Well, Amrit, the president claims inflation is falling rapidly and the economy is performing at record levels. Also, simultaneously slammed the Supreme Courts on tariffs in front of several justices out there. What do you have to say about his speech today?
Well, it was a typically Trump speech, with a lot of flourishes, with rhetoric, with tirade against his opponents, including Joe Biden, the Democrats. So the Democrats, while his State of Union address was on, booed him, and he took a jibe at them. So it was typically Trump making tall claims, in some cases very exaggerated claim, the funny claim that during Op Sindoor, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Shehbaz Sharif, would have died had he not intervened, etc., and claiming once again that he stopped the India-Pakistan conflict, etc., though he was, booed by the Democrats, saying they are total lies. He said there are 8 wars he stopped. But he did make the point that, the economy is on the upswing. He said the greatest time of America is upon us. So those were typically Trump statements. He said inflation in the past, 5 months is down to about 1.7%. He said it's as compared to the Biden administration, it's significantly come down. He said there's food on the table of American people. Of course, he took on the Supreme Court. He said he called it an unfortunate ruling. He said that the world notes that the deals that he struck with them, the tariff deals, he has the legal authority as president. In fact, he hinted at something called as the income tax, which he says, he wouldn't need congressional approval, though it remains to be seen whether how legally tenable that really is. But he said, if countries who have agreed to deals with him do not abide by those deals, far worse is coming. So that was typically Trump, threatening countries, even though the Supreme Court has struck it down. So it was a typical Trump speech, replete with a lot of rhetoric, Lipakshi.
Also, Amrit, while expressing a preference for diplomacy, the president also did not mince his words in calling Iran the world's #1 sponsor of terrorism and reiterated that it cannot obtain nuclear weapons. How might this impact the US-Iran relations further and the prospects for a renewed diplomatic engagement?
The good news is that he says that he wants to use diplomacy. So he's allayed the fears of an imminent war or conflict in the region. But he did also, made a threat. He made a threat to Iran, saying if it does not give up its nuclear ambitions, then he will bring peace through strength, indicating that a military strike could be imminent.
Right.
As I said, the good news is that he says that he still wants to give diplomacy a chance, and the military buildup that we see in the State of Hormuz. There is some good news if one can read that from the State of Union address. But he called Iran the #1 sponsor of terrorism, etc. He kept using those words. He said protesters have been killed. So he kept up the rhetoric. So he's keeping up the pressure on Iran, but he's saying that he wants to give diplomacy a chance.
All right, Amrit, thank you so much for all those details. And moving on, the UN General Assembly voiced support for Ukraine on Tuesday on the 4th anniversary of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, with the United States among countries abstaining from the vote. The Assembly passed a resolution saying it was committed to the sovereignty, independence, unity and territorial integrity of Ukraine within its internationally recognized borders. The resolution was passed by a tally of 107 countries in favor, 12 against and 51 abstentions from the 193-member Assembly. The resolution also called for an immediate and unconditional ceasefire and comprehensive, just and lasting peace.
The parameters of peace in Ukraine are not a mystery. It must be in accordance with international law, including the UN Charter and relevant UN resolutions. And it must uphold the sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity of Ukraine within its internationally recognized borders. Enough with the death, enough with the destruction, enough with the broken lives and shattered futures. It is time for an immediate, full, and unconditional ceasefire, the first step toward a just peace that saves lives and ends the endless suffering.
While Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in a social media post expressed gratitude to the 107 nations that supported Ukraine's resolution at the UN General Assembly, calling for a full ceasefire and the return of Ukrainian citizens. He highlighted that the resolution, which aims for lasting peace, was a crucial step and pledge to continue working with global partners to achieve peace. Meanwhile, United Nations General Assembly General Assembly Secretary Antonio Guterres marked the 4th anniversary of Russian attack on Ukraine, describing the conflict as a violation of international law and a threat to global peace. He called for an immediate, full and unconditional ceasefire as a first step towards achieving a just and lasting peace. And Peruvian President Jose Maria Balcazar swore in his new cabinet on Tuesday. Economy Minister Dennis Miralles was tapped to lead the cabinet and was sworn in as Prime Minister. Gerardo Lopez Gonzalez was appointed as a replacement at the Economy and Finance Ministry. Hugo Bigazo de Bedoya, a retired weapon officer of Peru's National Police, according to the government, was appointed Interior Minister. Hugo de Zela Martinez was reappointed as Foreign Minister. 83-year-old Balcazar, who has faced backlash over comments about child marriage, became Peru's new leader after Congress elected him to serve as interim president following the removal of Joe Sterry. And moving on, India's healthcare system is undergoing a major transformative change. No longer confined to hospitals and clinics, healthcare deliveries are now being powered by digital technology and artificial intelligence. From early diagnosis to personalized treatment and rural outreach, AI is emerging as a game changer, making healthcare faster, smarter, and more accessible.
India's healthcare system is no longer limited to hospitals and medical clinics of doctors. Digital technology and artificial intelligence have given a new direction to the country's healthcare infrastructure. Today, AI is not just a technical term. It has become the foundation for better treatment, timeless diagnosis, and a more empowered healthcare system. AI's most significant impact is visible in early diagnosis and personalized treatment. In radiology, pathology, and cardiology, AI-based systems are detecting diseases with greater accuracy than ever through advanced medical imaging. By analyzing large volumes of data, AI evaluates a patient's lifestyle, genetic profile, and medical history to design personalized treatment plans, making healthcare more precise, effective, and affordable. AI has also transformed telemedicine. In remote and rural interiors where specialist doctors are often unavailable, AI-enabled telemedicine platforms are providing consultations right at patients' homes. Virtual assistants, chatbots, and remote monitoring devices track symptoms in real time and instantly share critical data with doctors. This technology is significantly strengthening rural healthcare services. AI is playing a vital role in community health and disease surveillance as well. Across the country, AI-based monitoring systems are tracking disease patterns, identifying risks, and predicting potential outbreaks. The National Center for Disease Control is using AI-driven data analytics to detect health threats early, enabling timely prevention action. In hospitals, AI is streamlining administrative tasks for patient records and appointment scheduling to billing and supply chain management. Automation is allowing doctors and healthcare workers to spend more time with patients. Improved internet connectivity in rural areas has further expanded AI adoption. At the same time, healthcare professionals are being trained to effectively integrate AI into clinical practice. India is steadily moving toward digital AI-enabled healthcare culture. National initiatives such as the TB-Free India campaign are already leveraging AI at scale. With technology, policy, and human empathy working together, the country is building a stronger, more inclusive, and future-ready healthcare system. Bureau Report, DD India.
And Google and Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai visited the Bharat GI Coffee Lounge organized by the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade during the India AI Impact Summit 2026 in New Delhi. Union Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal captured the moment and posted on X. During the visit, Pichai interacted with baristas and experienced the rich flavors of India's premium GI-tagged coffees. Alongside delegates from Finland, France, Japan, Nigeria, Botswana, Lithuania, Kazakhstan, Poland and Germany, among many others, also visited the Coffee Experience Center. The Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade has unveiled Bharat GI as a unified national intellectual property brand. The Coffee Experience Center is attracting visitors to explore and experience various Indian GI-registered coffees. And after a successful visit to Singapore, Uttar Pradesh's Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath arrived in Tokyo on an official visit to Japan aimed at strengthening the state's investment opportunities and industrial growth. He attended the Uttar Pradesh Investment Roadshow. The leader also met Senior Managing Executive Officer of Konoike Transport Company Limited, Shigeki Tanabe, in Tokyo. Discussed expanding Konoike's presence in Uttar Pradesh across logistics parks, warehousing and multimodal transport infrastructure, invited the company to explore opportunities in medical devices, manufacturing, leveraging the dedicated freight corridor network and the medical devices park, further strengthening India-Japan industrial cooperation. And 7th India-Japan Joint Exercise Dharma Guardian begins in Uttarakhand. The 7th edition of Exercise Dharma Guardian between the Indian Army and the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force commenced at the Foreign Training Node in Chaubadia, Uttarakhand, and will continue from February 24 to March 9th. A 120-member contingent from each side is participating, with the Japanese side represented by the 32nd Infantry Regiment and the Indian Army contingent drawn from the Ladakh Scouts. The exercise, held alternatively in India and Japan, aims to enhance military collaboration and interoperability for joint operations in semi-urban environments, focusing on modern technology, joint planning, ISR grid development, cordon and search operations, heliborne missions and house intervention drills. And time now for a short break. We'll be back in a while.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout ho gaya.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching TD India News. I'm Lepak Shukran, and on to some business news now. Gold prices climbed on Wednesday as investors flocked to the safe haven metal during Asian trading amid uncertainty over U.S. tariffs following the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling. Spot gold was up by 0.7% at $5,181.95 per ounce as of 03:53 GMT. Bullion ended the previous session down more than 1% as investors locked in profits after gold hit a 3-week high early in the day. U.S. gold futures for April delivery were up by 0.5% at $5,200.40. Spot silver climbed 2.4% to $89.44 per ounce after hitting a more than 2-week high on Monday. Spot platinum rose 3.1% to $2,234.75 per ounce, while palladium added 2.2% to $1,807.27. The United States began collecting a temporary 10% global import tariff on Tuesday, but Washington was working to raise it to 15%. Meanwhile, two U.S. Federal Reserve officials signal no near-term appetite to change the setting of central bank interest rate policy. And Warner Brothers Discovery opened the door on Tuesday to Paramount's Skydance after the rival bidder raised its offer to $31 per share. The intense bidding war for the studio behind Batman and Harry Potter has reached a fever pitch, with the board signaling that Netflix may lose its place as the preferred suitor. The rival bidder also agreed to contribute more equity should banks raise concerns about Paramount's ability to finance the deal when it closes. Warner's board said it has not determined whether the revised Paramount proposal is superior to the merger with Netflix, but that directors will engage further. Should a superior deal emerge, Netflix has 4 business days to revise its offer. Well, you're watching T20 India News. Our time now for some sports news. England on Tuesday became the first team to qualify with the T20 World Cup 2026 semi-finals after defeating Pakistan by 2 wickets in a thrilling Super 8 match in Sri Lanka. The win took England to 4 points from 2 games and thus maintained top spot in Group 2. Pakistan won the toss and opted to bat first. The men in green were off to a shaky start as they lost Saim Ayub and skipper Salman Ali Agha in the power play. And England restricted Pakistan to 164 runs with the loss of 9 wickets. England chased down their target of 165 with 5 balls to spare despite a late wobble. England's skipper Harry Brook led from the front with a hard-fought century. Brook got to his 100 off 50 balls, slamming 10 fours and 4 sixes to get to the milestone. And the Super 8 clash between Sri Lanka and New Zealand at the T20 World Cup in Colombo today is a pivotal encounter with semi-final spot at stake. The host entered the fixture under pressure after their dramatic batting collapse and crushing defeat against England. The equation is straightforward. Another defeat could severely dent their semi-final prospects. Their hopes rest heavily on their ability to choke New Zealand's aggressive batters, and controlling the middle overs could prove decisive. On the other hand, New Zealand posed the most explosive opening partnership of the tournament. Tim Siffert and Finn Allen have combined brute force when fearless intent to destroy opposition plans before spinners could hold away. A win would strengthen their hopes to qualify for the last 4 after their opening Super 8 fixture against Pakistan was washed out. And Under 23 World Championships gold medalist Sujit Kalkal will spearhead the Indian contingent at the Muhammad Malo Wrestling Tournament in Albania. The tournament kicks off today and will run till 1st of March in Tirana city. It is also the second leg of the 2026 United World Wrestling Ranking Series. The Indian team will compete in the men's freestyle, the women division and the Greco-Roman category. In the absence of Olympic medalist Aman Sehrawat, Sujit Kalkal will lead the Indian charge in the men's freestyle category. In the women category, Under 23 World Championship bronze medalist Neha Sharma will look to lead from the front. India's Tathan will be the one to watch in the Greco-Roman category. And world champion D. Gukesh spearheads India's challenge in the Prague International Chess Festival starting in Czech Republic on Wednesday. Indian chess grandmaster will eye a turnaround after an early exit from the World Cup and an underwhelming performance at the Tata Steel Masters. Seeded second in a young elite field, Gukesh will have his task cut out against the likes of German Vincent Keimer and Uzbek Nordebek Abdusattorov. Kemar ranked 4th globally, is just ahead of Abdusattorov, while Gukesh ranked 10th as the highest rated Indian. Giving Gukesh company as a fellow Indian will be defending champion Aravind Chidambaram. In the challengers section, Suresh Shekhar Ganguly will spearhead the Indian challenge along with Women's World Cup winner Divya Deshmukh. Well, Army bagged their 4th gold in Gulmarg leg of the Khelo India Winter Games to go on top of the medal standings. Another 5 medals were decided on day 2 of games, and the highlight of the day was Nordic skier Kajal Kumari Rai, who won a 2nd consecutive gold medal of the competition. Army star skier Padma Namgale led his team to top 3 position in the men's version of the 10-kilometer Nordic race. So dominating was the Army team that the first 9 positions went to them. 10 gold medals have been decided in Gulmarg leg so far. Army added 1 more to their overnight to reach 5 gold so far. Haryana continues to occupy the 2nd position in the medal tally with 4 gold medals, but Maharashtra is only a gold adrift. The games are being hosted by the Jammu and Kashmir Sports Council. And Paralympic flame was lit at Stoke Mandeville in England ahead of Milan Cortina Games beginning in March. After the ceremony, the flame was transported to Heathrow Airport for its journey to Torino. It will travel through Italy and will reach Verona on 6th of March for the opening ceremony. The Games will take place from 6th to 15th of March. The International Paralympic Committee says there will be up to 665 athletes from around 50 nations competing for 79 medal events across 6 sports. There are para-alpine skiing, para-biathlon, para-cross-country, para-ice hockey, para-snowboard and wheelchair curling. And Norway's Bodo Glimt pulled off one of the most remarkable results in modern Champions League history, beating last season runner-up Inter Milan 2-1 to reach the last 16 with a 5-2 aggregate triumph. Bodo Glimt, the modest outfit from north of the Arctic Circle, clinched a stunning 3-1 win last week in the first leg of the knockout phase playoff tie. Inter, the three-time European champions, who are currently 10 points clear at the top of Serie A, were expected to pummel their visitors in an attempt to turn the tie around. But Bodo Glimt survived before winning the match 2-1. Bodo Glimt are the first side from the country to go so far in Europe's elite club competition since Rosenborg reached the quarterfinals in 1997. Newcastle United, Atletico Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen also went through the last 16 of the competition. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.